Our chatbot technology actually inspired the Spike Jonze movie, Her, and we've been in the business for 2 decades. And so we've seen from processing 100 billion interactions an overwhelming user demand for romantic use cases. And we believe that sexualized AI romantic companions are going to be a net negative for society, and also are not the best business choice in terms of working with blue chip brands.
So how do you see actually these chatbots evolving?
We still think that AI companion technology has wonderful opportunities in any sector where personalized listening and helping people feel heard and tutoring and anything that requires a conversation with a human expert, there's tremendous capability. But we think that sexualized use cases are really going to have a negative impact on our mental health, our interpersonal relationships, far beyond what we've seen with pornography and social media.
So Lauren, when you look at the industries that, where the innovation will really come from, you mentioned education. Is there anything else that you think will really change because of the use of this technology?
Yeah, I think it really is akin to the internet. It is going to be everywhere, and it's going to have as big of a seismic shift. I'm really bullish on educational use cases. I think AI for writing code is already transformative. The problem with generative AI, as everyone knows by now, is there's a big accuracy problem. And so any use cases where you have to be 100% accurate to be safe, there's going to be a problem. But I think the technology is evolving, and we will get there.
Lauren, is there a way, like a utopia almost, where you see actually we'll be able to get, accurate information, unbiased information in everything, and how far away is that?
That's a tough question. I think a lot of people feel that generative AI is hitting a wall with regard to simply throwing more compute and more data at the problem, not yielding breakthroughs. We combine more of a rule-based approach to AI on top of generative systems, and we work with human experts to train any model that requires expertise in a specific domain. So I think that a blended approach is what's necessary for battle-tested enterprise applications that are going to be interacting with consumers at scale today.
So what have you learned? What surprised you the most, right, in the last 5 to 10 years? It's just
honestly, OpenAI's shift to Erotica is deeply shocking. I feel like it's sort of, if you recall when Google dropped "Don't be evil" as their tagline, we sort of went from nonprofit making AI for the benefit of humanity to for-profit making AI for the benefit of humanity to now we're making porn. And it's understandable because there's a 40x gap between their valuation and the revenue, which they have to bridge somehow, but I never really thought we would see in our lifetime. And I think one of the we had many decision points over the last 2 decades looking at the demand for this use case and deciding not to do it. And I think what shocked us is the conversation logs. We saw the most engaged users were people who were coming back to enact the same rape and murder fantasies over and over and over again. And it didn't seem like the AI was going to be able to better socialize antisocial people. It seemed like it was going to help fan the flames of those fantasies. And then the other shocking thing is that the most engaged users are children or young teens. I think that's who gets really into the technology, is really curious, and so it is in fact very dangerous.
So is it regulation that could help, or is it just a
regulation is slow, so I think the real responsibility lies in the hands of the creators, and I hope more people decide not to do this. But I do think we would need regulation akin to products we see that are dependency forming, like tobacco and gambling. I think that media is the wrong analogy. I think we also need warning labels. I think the Surgeon General has proposed that for social media. Something that goes beyond sort of the current cheeky disclaimer, AI can make mistakes, or everything I say is made up. And I think we need a new framework for liability. So holding creators responsible to prove their products are safe rather than consumers needing to show that they were harmed after the fact. Because I think one thing when we say, oh, let's just let adults be adults, and the mental health impact is only on people who are already unstable, that is simply not true. Ever since chatbots were invented in the 1960s, the early phenomenon proved that intelligent, grounded people are highly susceptible to to being manipulated just by being agreed with, to being radicalized. So I think it's an everyone problem and not sort of a fringe, people who are already unstable are going to do what they want, but we've solved that. And it's okay to test on the rest of humanity, right? Because we have 1 billion people on the planet using this technology now.
So eloquently put. Lauren, is there a worry that actually it's because people just need to monetize? So I hear a lot of conversation with CEOs, in general, not even in the tech space, saying I'm spending so much on innovation, I need at some point to really see a return.
Yeah, that is the most logical explanation, right? OpenAI started out with a very firm stance. We're not going to allow pornographic use cases. They have a history of kicking developers like Replica, the AI companion app that's been fined a lot, that I think famously encouraged someone to try to assassinate the queen here. They've turned that off in the past and said you can't use our APIs, so this is a big shift. And 30% of all user inputs to chatbots, it doesn't matter if it's a general assistant or something that's sort of designed to be alluring by design, are romantic or sexual. So it's a user demand, and that's where the money is.